Having the wow factor plant is one of those things that every gardener looks for, because when you're having a barbecue, people come over and they say, wow, what is that? You feel like a pro because you're growing something no one's ever seen before. So today's video, we're gonna look at 6 very uncommon but able to access cold climate perennial and annual plants that will work for you guys. If you are in a warmer climate, all of these will work for you. If you're in a cold climate though, us poor northern US, European, Canadian folk, clutching my pearls here, my big pearls, but they're pearls nonetheless. Okay, this first one is exotic. It is unique. It is like something that if somebody saw it in your yard as a cold climate gardener, they'd be like, why? How? Where did that come from? And that is the lady slipper orchid. Now, the lady slipper orchid is a perennial, and it actually is a perennial in my zone, which is zone impossible, zone 3. It is even in lower zones as well, in some cases. You can get lady slippers that go for all zones, and many a times they are accessible from your local orchid society. I've seen them at Gardenscape here in Saskatchewan. This is where you need to be careful with some of these plants because they are so rare due to habitat destruction. You really want to make sure that the plants you're getting are from a reputable plant breeder or a society, a horticultural society, something that has a check of approval, that has been grown just by a local gardener and then divvied up, because you obviously don't want to be taking from Mother Nature. And in many cases, the bulbs or the products of Mother Nature don't tend to transplant well. They tend to do very poorly and are going to die anyway. So go for the cultivated varieties, the horticultural varieties of this, and lady slippers are one that are just a wow factor plant. There is like the fattest, P-H-A-T fat bumblebee just buzzing around my plants. Okay, next option is this bad boy. So this is bugbane, brunette bugbane to be specific. What makes this unique? You're probably like, Ashley, that's not unique. It is unique. Just give me a second here. It's got dark, deep purple, like asparagus, purple stems with leaves. They look dark green to you, probably on camera, but they are like a purple green. I don't know how to explain it. The leaves are beautiful. You combine that with the fact that they have these really interesting flower spikes on them, the fact that it gets actually pretty big as a plant, and this is the part that moi loves, it can grow in near total shade. I know. We've all been looking for something that's not a hosta that can survive in total shade. So bugbane for any shady spot, good choice, because we're always looking for other shady options, again, that are not freaking hostas, that are irises. Like, do we not get sick of these eventually? Okay, so the next one, if you have deer, rabbits, are looking for security, oddly enough, from humans or other animals, is drought tolerant and carefree, then this plant is for you. And that is barberry. Not only is it pretty in its color, it is downright dangerous. We're talking spikes. So don't plant this if you have kids. Do not plant this if you have pets that you don't want to torture. This stuff sucks, but it is great, wonderful if you want to keep humans and pets out of a certain area, and you can just line it with barberry. Once they're established, it takes 1 year of just very thorough watering, and you're done. It's good. They will survive anything, anywhere, anytime, except for a swamp. It just won't survive in a swamp, but otherwise it'll survive everywhere. You can't go wrong, barberry. Okay, next one is the butterfly bush. So, butterfly bush. That is exactly what it sounds like. You could also do milkweed as well. But what it is it's a unique looking plant that butterflies, hummingbirds, and other pollinators absolutely go crazy for. And typically speaking, if you have these in your yard, it's not so much the plant that's the wow factor as it is the actual insects it attracts. Because if you're looking to have like a monarch butterfly in your backyard that no one ever typically sees, these plants will help introduce those really cool pollinators to your yard. So great choice. Another one as an annual is actually fuchsia. Those guys, great in hanging baskets, really unique flowers, just an overall really unique plant. And these do wonderfully for, again, bringing in some very unique critters. Okay, next one is a bog garden. Now, more specifically, a carnivorous bog garden. That's right, folks. Okay, so you can do this in so many different ways. Method number one would be to convert an entire space of your yard to a bog, which is like really cool, but maybe not for everybody. What I've done in the past, I did a video on this when I was like going to try to do YouTube and then just decided I wasn't going to do YouTube. I'm pretty sure I've taken it down since then. Thumbnail's right here. I'll put it as an unlisted video if you want to go laugh. It's actually kind of funny. How horrible I used to be. How cute I used to be. You can put so many different carnivorous plants in. You can have your classic Venus. You can even get plants that are native, yes, native to Canada that are carnivorous. So sundews, for example, I've actually seen sundews in a forest soil trip I did, just hanging out in a bog. Who knew that they existed? I didn't until I saw it with my own eyes. Very neat. You can get butterwort, and again, a very unique, very bizarre, like the flower scenario on that plant is just so cool. You can get those. And the best part is that it can go on your deck in the shade. So if you have a gazebo or a space where you just want to have mosquitoes be eaten, bog garden, definitely the way to go. Last one, and I can thank my sister for this new obsession of mine. I've been looking for bulbs for these bad boys for a while now. I'm having a hard time finding them. If you know where I can get them, I think I found 2 of them. I'm going to let them grow and see what they turn into. They may be what I'm looking for here, but I'm not 100% sure yet. And that is a trailing begonia. These things are beautiful. I hate begonias. I absolutely despise begonias. But these trailing begonias, why are they so pretty? They're beautiful, beautiful plants in beautiful containers. So if you want to get a trailing begonia for a shady space that needs a hanging basket, definitely the route you should take. Now, all of these plants would actually do well to be started or incorporated in soil-wise with potting soil, particularly reused potting soil. So if you want to learn how to reuse your potting soil, check out this video here that YouTube's telling you to watch. And this video down here is actually the video that YouTube says you should watch next based on what you've been searching for. So I will talk to you guys next time.